Hey, Seshan,
Yeah.
want to open a BnB?
Sure.
Great, just give me 50,000 coins.
Sure. Here you go.
Congratulations, you're now on your way to financial independence.
What about that?
In actuality, you are much, much closer to financial ruin, but at least you have a BnB now.
What did I get myself into?
You got yourself into the Game Playlist Podcast. My name is Akshan, and I'll introduce everyone else here. But because of today's game, my question today, for the beginning, is if you had an all-expense paid trip to anywhere, where would you go? What would you pick? And I would probably just pick Disneyland or something. I don't know.
I thought you'd have a more unique suggestion, but okay.
I pick it because it costs money, and I don't really like going out otherwise. All right, so next to me.
All expense paid trip anywhere, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Then I shall pick everywhere.
You are. Sashan is the type of person who, when the genie asks for 3 wishes, he wishes for unlimited wishes. There you go.
If I had to pick a place, I'd say Japan. But
Well, then I'll go next. So I will pick any of the Scandinavian countries.
And who are you?
I'm Anuk.
There we go.
Congratulations.
Thank you for inviting.
Any of the Scandinavian countries? Oh, we gotta pick one, surely.
Fine,
Finland,
Norway, if that's the
Sweden.
case.
Norway?
Norway. Okay.
You want to meet the Vikings?
Norway.
Norway.
Norwegian wood.
And
All right.
my name is Delanta, and since Sashan stole my Japan pick, I am going to pick Denmark because then I can go and see the original Legoland and Lego Factory, Lego House, and so on. Go see all the Lego stuff.
Maybe we'll play a Lego game next. Who knows? Just stay tuned. That's not off the table. All right.
I thought you wanted to go to Copenhagen, Jonathan. No?
That's in Denmark, right?
Yeah, that's in Denmark.
Okay,
You know.
yes.
Yeah, okay. You know why Copenhagen, right?
Why Copenhagen?
Never mind. 18 plus stuff.
All right. Well, stay tuned.
Subscribe to the Patreon. No, I'm kidding. We don't have.
Today's game that we're picking is a lot more innocent than what Anuk was about to say. And that is bear and breakfast. And to break it down for us, fast. I had a breakfast joke in there. It got lost. Seshan, take us through it.
So, Bear and Breakfast was my pick, and it is a management adventure sim made by Gummy and published by Armor Games Studios in 2022. Yeah.
2020, yeah.
Yeah. And so in the game, you build and run a bed and breakfast in the woods. And as you can tell by the title of the game, you are a bear that is doing this. You play as Hank, a big, friendly brown bear who takes on the challenge of renovating various abandoned buildings and converting them into functioning BnBs for the huge number of human tourists that are coming into the valley. And as for how the game works, the core gameplay is basically a classic management game where the goal of the game is to maximize the satisfaction of your guests by building and decorating various rooms and facilities. And as the game progresses, so do the demands and requirements of your guests. And mixed into this management sim game is like a quest-based story that slowly uncovers the entire history behind the valley and all the other creatures that live in it. And what else about this game? There's a big map.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
We don't go into there's a map. Yeah,
big map. It's a big
that's
map.
basically the game. Yeah. So when Sasha picked this, we all knew about it because it was advertised at one of the indie game festivals. And we all wanted to play it. I didn't even know it came out.
It came up quite a lot, actually. I think a lot of different showcases had it, and it was a cute
Yes.
game. It's a cute
Yeah,
game.
yeah. So I'm glad we finally got to play it. Did it live up to the hype? Let's find out. So
On the next
so the-
episode.
Drum roll.
So the hook of the game is what Sasha described. You manage a bed and breakfast, and it's very Stardew Valley-ish. It's not exactly Stardew Valley, but if you played Stardew Valley, you will see the similarities in the perspective of the camera, like it being top down but at an angle. The foraging mechanics, the placement, the way you place things feels very Stardew, like in that sort of
Hexagon. No, not hexagonal.
It's not even hexagonal. That's why I stopped.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. It's not hexagonal.
It's in that square sort of grid sort of system where you can place things down a certain way. Compared to Stardew Valley, it's a lot less important what you place down, which we will get into. Actually, we'll get into that later. First off, this game, when we saw it advertised, it just looked adorable. And so, because of the style of it. So I want to talk about the vibe of the game first. And that starts off with the art and animation, which, in my view, I don't know about y'all, in my view, it's probably one of the game's best qualities. It is wonderfully
It
rendered.
looks nice.
It feels like watching an old cartoon.
Yeah,
Well, not old, but like it feels like watching cartoons.
it's all cartoons to us, which is
Very
2010s.
2000s, early 2000s style, cartoon style.
Our
Yeah.
childhood cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it
the
reminds-
Looney Tunes, Looney Tune times.
Yeah, it reminds me of. There's a lot of things that remind me of Gravity Falls, but it reminds me of Gravity Falls a lot. The style, the
Because it's in
colors,
the forest.
Yeah, the
and
colors.
also the hat. It's also in the Oregon forest as well, but
Yeah,
also the hat that Hank wears is just looks like the Stardew Gravity Falls hat. I really like the whenever you transition between two areas, the artwork that they show, like for the loading screen. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that art.
It's good.
Such good art. The art department is killer. It is my favorite aspect. One of my favorite aspects of this game. It never gets.
I
old
might
to
be
look at.
I might be wrong here, but I think this game is a 3-people dev team. I think I read that somewhere.
It's a very
Very small team.
dead thing. Yes.
Because I think one of the things they said was that for the next update and all, they're working on it, but because they're still a small team, or at least 3 people started the original concept and stuff. Maybe they have more people now. So it's
Yeah.
nice that they all seem very talented, at least in the art
Yeah.
section.
Very. There's a lot about this game that I would love to see them make another game of a different type, just because I could see the potential in their ability from this. Not to say this isn't up to snuff. It's we'll get into that. It's but I love the animation.
Besides up to fluff.
Up to fluff, up to breakfast. Hank's movement in the game is also it works for the most part. There is a feeling, I do feel like he's a bit like he's floating through the world, like in the way he moves,
movements.
because of his movements itself. Because it doesn't feel like he's grounded. He's on the floor. It feels more like he's floating through the world, which it's maybe that's just me.
It's not how do you say it? It's not static, is that the word? With the world?
I guess. I also guess because the world itself does not really react to him like walking through things and like Stardew Valley, as pixelated as it is, when you walk through grass, the grass kind of like shakes when you move through it. Whereas here, when you walk through grass,
Don't you hear sounds when you move through like some patches of bushes?
I guess
At
like the sound design maybe is there, but like
sound design helps.
I guess like Hank doesn't really interact
With the
with
images.
with his background.
Yes. It also, the other thing that reinforces that for me is that his animation for collecting things is always the same. It's
It's
never
like a loading. It's a progress bar.
his hands just sort of do a Jedi hand wave and he picks up items, which is fine. It's fine. I'm fine with it. But it does make it feel like he's just floating through the world a little bit.
But I guess initially after you play a couple of hours, that just becomes
Yeah, you get used to it.
yeah,
You get used to it. But I imagine they would have, if it's such a small dev team and such a large scope and effort to make this game. I imagine if they had more money or time and manpower, maybe they might have done that. When you're talking to characters, you get a more close-up look of them, and you get you don't get full-on animations, but you get stills of their emotional states whenever they're talking. Which from there we can get into the dialogue as well. The reason I want to bring up dialogue is I think the dialogue is really, really good. I think it's very personality filled. It doesn't feel utilitarian. It doesn't feel like it's just there to explain info. It feels like it's there to reveal character and personality and have a little bit of fun as well. And it's so well written that and by how the story goes in this game that we'll get into later, I won't be shocked if they really have a great story idea for a game in the future that they want to make. And this is just like the first game, and so they went with a different kind of game first.
They did say there's going to be a story continuation in the next update.
Oh,
They're going to
nice.
be continuing from wherever I don't know which story they're going to be continuing, but I'm guessing it's
most likely the main storyline, right?
I think it's a side story.
a side story. I think the main story ended on a note. On a note. Let's leave it at that. So
which we will get into in the story.
Yeah, I think the whatever's coming in the update is going to be more focused on the side story.
But I do agree with you, Akshan, like the way they've written the dialogue for each of the characters it feels very distinct.
Yes, very distinct. Very distinct.
I don't feel like any two characters were very similar in their writing and in how they spoke.
Yeah, I remember a lot of them.
And the weird part is that like it comes like a lot on the writing because there is no voice acting in the game. And like remembering a character purely based off their dialogue and not our voice is, I think, a great achievement that the dev team has done.
Yeah, indeed.
So, are we talking about characters now?
We're talking about the personalities. We'll go into like the stories of the characters later, but more just their personalities and like their vibe. The idea of them.
Do y'all have any favorites based on vibe?
Favorites.
Based favorites. Yes. Do you have any based favorites?
I like Charlotte.
Who's Charlotte?
The witch.
Oh, okay.
The crocodile witch in the swamp, the bog. I don't know what you call it.
The Darkwood, right?
Yes.
No, not Darkwood. It's the first area you go into.
Some sort of dark.
Oh, right. Okay.
Swamp land.
Yeah, swamp land.
Oh, Darkwood.
The swamp, yeah.
Dark bramble thicket, something.
Black moss.
Black moss.
Mossy black. Yeah, she was fun. It's the game is full of human characters as well as animal humanoid characters.
Animals. They're more-
They've all
Don't say it,
animals,
Anuk. Do
right?
not say it.
Huh?
Do not say the
He's
word.
gonna.
Ah,
Oh,
animals.
what's the word? Animal?
No.
Yeah, the one.
You can check
Yeah,
out
the
the
one.
meaty message, find out what word we were talking about.
I just want to point out. Do you all notice that the dialogue sound familiar? Familiar?
The
Does it?
dialogue sound
You know, when they're
familiar.
speaking, right? When they're like.
You mean the audio that?
Oh, the brrr.
Yeah. Was it just me or was it you all as well?
I didn't notice anything, so
There are.
It
See, here's
sounds.
the thing. What
Huh?
I'm guessing you're saying you heard it in another game, right?
Yes, it's a game that we played recently, and I can't figure out where.
Okay, that's
Wait.
interesting.
Is it? Wait. Okay, I think I know it. It's the one before this. But
Rush.
Bomb
no,
Rush.
no.
Happy
but-
Zumbo?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
It
not
seems.
that.
It just feels like a very generic sound that you would.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe-
pretty sure it's just
Probably a
just
generic sound, yeah.
copyright free free
Possible.
sound.
I
No,
don't know.
but this is the thing in a lot of games. When you play a lot of different, especially in the indies, you notice that they all use like
Same sound effects.
some
Text-
same
text
sound,
scroll.
some textures. Yeah, same thing.
Text scroll sounds, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
It just
Uh,
sounded familiar. I was like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar.
Wait, just a second.
Who are you?
I feel like I'd be stealing Seshan's answer. Oh no, it's Seshan already answered.
Huh?
I like Hank.
You like Hank?
Yes, I just like Hank.
I also like Hank, but
Anyone else?
the only reason I chose Charlotte is because of she has like a deeper level of understanding than the rest of the creatures, and it just comes off. It's a lot funnier because we have insight into what she's saying, but clearly Hank doesn't.
Yeah, Hank doesn't. That's why I like Hank. He's so naive but gung ho. He's confident he can do it. If someone told him get him 2,000, actually no, someone does tell him to get money, and he just does it
Yeah.
without question.
I mean, he does everything. Yeah, he's just like sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that
No
he's an
choice.
anxious. He's an anxious character, but he's not cowardly. He's
Mhm.
very. He's like, oh, I guess I have to do this, and he just does it. He doesn't. He never surrenders to fear, which is quite fun, and it also makes sense for what happens later.
Anuk, do you
Yeah.
have a favorite character?
Not really, but I guess the ones that caught my attention maybe were Gus or Jax.
So he picks the
those
loner in the,
Yeah, the two loners.
no, it's the loner and the antisocial one.
Gus is not antisocial, right?
His,
I don't know
his
about
entire
that.
persona is hating people.
Ah,
Kind of ironic as to what his role is, but
Yeah.
To be fair, it's not that he's hating people; it's that he expects like insults as compliments.
that's a like weird. Wait, what is he saying?
So he
You
speaks to you on
complimented
another
me.
level.
What blasphemy!
what about you, Dilantha?
Barbara.
Clearly.
She's
Yes,
she's the real winner in this entire game.
She's a nice lady.
Yeah, she's a nice lady.
Yeah. She always wants what's best for Hank.
What's best for the valley?
Indeed.
No
I know,
ulterior
right?
motives.
Not at all.
And
All
for
right.
one.
So from that, let's get into this game, shall we? Because as much as there is a story, as much as there is a cool like sort of like atmosphere, a very unique atmosphere to this game. You are most of the game you are mostly playing as a bear managing a BnB. So when you begin the game, you start out encountering this BnB, and there's this robot thing that tells you, "Hey, you want to make money, and the tank's like yes, and then you start getting the BnB ready. You need some materials, you need some stuff, and all of this chicanery, and you start foraging, which is one of the major gameplay loops to this. It's
Elements.
foraging and then room management and the base management, let's call it. And so let's go into foraging first, because you spend a lot of time doing it. You have to collect a lot of stuff, a lot of specific stuff, which for the most part spawns in random clusters in specific areas, although some stuff spawns everywhere, like mahogany.
I think
And
all the planks.
of course, you can buy some of the stuff at one of the markets that you can encounter.
Did you all ever have to buy material?
Once
other
or
than
twice.
food stuff.
Yeah.
I did buy some mahogany, but then I found some mahogany and I realized that you just find a lot more than you like. Buying it is so expensive.
Yeah,
I
and it
think
also respawns every day, right? I
Yeah.
think.
I think like what happens is like, at least when I was low on materials and stuff like that, I developed like a routine for doing things. It's like morning hours, like you deal with stuff in your BnBs, and then like you roam the night for materials that you have enough and stuff like that. And like I think once you kind of understand how the different levels,
Timings.
the different levels, like I think each area has like certain things that spawn.
Yeah.
And like as long as you understand what spawns where, and it always spawns in the same places. Like
Yeah, you can see on the map where each item
yeah,
spawns.
so there's no like random, there's no luck involved in getting resources in this game, which is I think at least a good thing, considering you need a lot of a lot of
A lot of
resources
stuff, yeah.
Yes.
It removes an annoying element to it. The foraging part is still, I wouldn't say annoying, it's part of the game, but at least
It's
the luck part is gone.
as challenging as foraging is.
Is in any game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the same as grinding, which is
Yes, kind of. Yeah. It does feel a bit tedious just because you have to kind of walk around the area, especially before you get one of those speed upgrades.
yeah.
Walking around and gathering resources it's quite tedious, especially when you're looking for a specific resource and you know it'll spawn. It spawns in like the area you're in, but you just have to find it.
But I would say they are all on the map as well, right? So there's
They
also
are.
that good thing. So you
But-
don't just have to walk around EMS and find stuff.
But that is, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like you need I think you need an upgrade in order to see things on the map and access the map
Oh,
and
you
all.
do?
But
I did not know that.
but as far as I'm aware, if you play it normally, like you will unlock it. It's not.
Yeah,
it's,
no,
it's
for
not,
sure, for sure.
It's
Yeah,
not one of
it's
those
not a special
things-
thing. It's not a special thing.
Yes. You can also recycle stuff. Let's say you crafted a bed, but then you don't need that bed anymore. You can recycle it and get get some of the resources back. Did y'all bother going through that? Because I did it a few times, and after a while, I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna delete these. I'm just gonna.
I did it quite a
yeah,
bit
some-
actually.
You-
To the point where I was annoyed that I had to keep going back to the A24.
I also did it, but I understand what you mean, because like the only real thing that I kept running out of was planks, and like every other resource I had in abundance. Like it was just planks and
Yes.
the silk cloth which you need to buy with
That's
Yeah,
money.
you have
most
to
annoying
buy
part.
silk cloth. Yeah.
So like other than those two, like there wasn't really any need for any of the other resources. Maybe
Yeah.
like those lilies in Black Moss, but even that.
Yeah, lilies and black moss, you could just walk around black moss and get them,
Yeah.
thankfully.
But I mean, like I
Um,
still recycled everything, because like I'd rather have more than not.
Actually, you know what? The lilies and black moss is an example of some of the tediousness, because it's just walking around gathering lilies to get 30 of them so you can give it to this crocodile lady.
Mm.
That I felt the tedium of that the most, because I was like, okay, all the lilies are here. Let me walk to everyone and pick them up.
But the reason why I don't think that is as big as and not as big as an issue is because that aspect of the game is not a requirement.
Oh yeah. That aspect of the game is definitely not a requirement.
I think that
The tedium,
yeah.
the tedium is not the worst, like the most boring, tedious foraging like feeling in the world. Just because the map is not that big, is not like humongous, and you will take like 10 minutes to get from A to B. You can get everywhere pretty quickly, and as you unlock the buses, which we can get into, the buses, which is basically fast travel from fast travel point to fast travel point. Everything becomes a lot quicker to get places and to get things that you want to get. So the tedium of it doesn't feel as strong as it could have been.
But I will say that like you kind of learn to stop foraging as much once you start using the buses a lot more. Unless you have to like
Yes.
actually. There was a point in like the end game of Bear and Breakfast where like I only spent times in certain areas because
Yeah.
for I don't know how to say this without talking about that specific upgrade, but like you towards the end of the game you don't need to be physically present in all areas.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to you just stay wherever you are required to like get something done. Like I felt like movement and foraging just like became zero towards the end.
Because you already
Yeah.
gotten most of the items by that time.
Yeah.
Yes. There are some objectives and quests, which we will get into a little bit more, where you simply have to look for it. You simply have to find it or stumble across it. And I, I think the main reason that I like 100%ed the game was because I was just doing the objectives while looking around for ages for what it wants me to do, for what it wanted me to go through. So perhaps I felt the tedium a lot from that as well, because I was not just looking for items, I was also just looking for specific ass items that I never found. Because then I realized something
looking
else.
for items. I was just gonna say like the quest part of the game is not really a problem either because most all quests are given by characters in the game and they have markers on them to indicate the start,
Yes.
progression, and end of it. So like, I guess
You can always find them as well. They're always on the map. You can always see.
Yes. For most of the quests, yes. But some of them are what do you
meant
call
to be
find the find the
But even those fine things, right? It's still marked for the most part. I mean, unless it's
is it marked?
Unless it's a material.
No,
No,
not really.
materials
No.
aren't marked. Like
Materials aren't, right. So that's not. But like, if you have to find like, I was gonna say something. I mean, like, let's say when you're doing like when you're fixing the broadcast station, right?
I think
Each part is
I think
marked.
locations and characters they mark. I don't
Right,
think
yeah.
resources or I said
Special items.
locations, but certain mysterious locations they don't mark.
Yeah.
Yes. You also that there are monuments that you can build which aren't required at all, but they might help you if you're trying to maximize your BnBness.
I mean, other than getting more guests, they don't really do anything.
They don't really do anything. They look nice.
But getting
I
more
guess.
guests helps you, right?
Getting more guests
Target.
helps you a lot.
It does.
So I would say it's you don't have to do it, but it
But
definitely
even the investment
make
into
things
those
easier.
monuments is not really a lot.
It's not that
Exactly.
much. It never feels.
You'll have the stuff for it. So
It's just the question of, are you going to put the effort to buy the stuff and upgrade it?
All the way back to Oliver.
Yes.
I think it's the last one that is a bit difficult. The ones before that are fine.
What was the last one?
The
Well,
last one you had to get the silk and stuff, which is the most. I feel like the most.
oh yeah. You need
The other ones
silk for
before that were
one.
easy to just because while you're walking around, you can find those items.
Yeah.
I
That's
guess
difficult.
items that you do have to buy kind of become a bit annoying, especially since you can only get them from specific characters and there are shops that are located only in specific places.
And most
Mm,
of the items are locked before no, not locked. What's it? They're locked once you reach a certain level. Like for example, the silk, right? You only can get it after a certain level.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You don't really have access to it until that point.
So you're stuck in some points.
Yeah. The opposite of silk is trash, and you can find abundance of trash once you have guests arriving.
Sure.
Trash. There are two currencies in this game. Maybe there's more. I don't think so. I think it's just two currencies: money, which you make from the guests coming in, and trash, which you make from just picking up trash off the floor. And you go over to a raccoon. I like that raccoon, but that's just because I like raccoons. Go over to a raccoon, and he tells you that he sells decorative items, and you can buy those decorative items to decorate the rooms with that trash, which we will get into now. We will get into the second element.
I'll be honest, when the raccoon was introduced and he was like, "This is my shop," I was like thinking, okay, maybe this is like level 1 of like decoration items, and like maybe later on like we'll actually get a proper shop, with like proper materials. But no, it just continues to upgrade. The dumpster just continues to get upgraded with more and more
Yes.
premium
With more
level
stuff,
items.
Yes, that was funny. Even I thought that maybe they will introduce a story where he has to where there's a competing decorative shop, and he has to get better. The raccoon.
It's all just took garbage.
Yeah. Oh, took. But what do you do with Took's garbage? You decorate your rooms, and that's the second element of this game, which is the BnB management. Two elements to it. One is the actual just managing it. But first off, you have to design those rooms. You have to design the lobby, design the rooms, design the place to make it work for people coming in and going out.
The layout.
Yes. So when you start the game, you have to clear out an area, and that area becomes your first BnB to manage. And you can make as many rooms as you want. There's a minimum size that you need for a room. But once you hit that minimum size, you put a bed in it, and then you have a bedroom which you can rent out to people. And you can, I'm trying to think of. You can decide the size of the room. It's not that you're given a bunch of rooms and you can decorate them how you want. It's that you can decide how many rooms there are in a building if you want.
Yeah.
As long as they reach the minimum requirements, they can be anything you want.
Anything you want.
There is only at certain points do you have to have a certain number of rooms, though, right?
There are points where an objective will tell you, okay, you need to get this many blah rooms, and so that means.
But it's an optional objective, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
I think they do.
But the game rewards you for having more rooms as opposed to
for sure.
a few very high quality rooms.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to
capitalism at its finest.
Capitalism.
You chose a very capitalistic game, Sean.
Yeah. The last one was capitalistic. This one is
capitalistic. Next one can't be capitalist. Actually, it's not capitalistic.
It's apocalyptic.
It's apocalyptic. Capitalism at its highest form. So when you make the rooms, there are two stats you have to manage at first, which we will just go into those two stats first, which is decoration, and comfort. Decoration you can really get from crafting some things, but it's mostly from Trashland. Comfort, you get mostly from creating, meaning creating beds will increase your comfort stat, creating wardrobes will increase your comfort stat. and those footrests apparently increase comfort stat. And then you can hang paintings, you can put plants and stuff, and it increases decorative stat. Where you place them doesn't seem to matter too much. It just matters that you place them and that there's enough space that someone can walk into the room.
Yeah. Although,
It has
like,
to be one. Sorry, go first.
no. I think it was. I feel like I ended up using just the strategy of like mostly using furniture pieces and decorative pieces that aren't on the ground. So like I use a lot of wall
Yeah,
decorations and floor decorations to kind of up my what was it called? Comfort? No, not comfort. It's
Decorations.
just
decoration.
Yeah, just the decoration.
You're telling me you didn't place like 6 high quality wardrobes in a room to get the comfort stat really high?
No.
How do they even walk in? How?
I'll be honest, like
that's the thing, right? Like I realized very early on that actually how the room looks doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's just stat padding. It's just a lot of stat padding.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. That's what I realized early on as well.
You know the funniest thing? One of the quests was build 2 bathrooms in A24.
Yeah.
Do you know you can just build 2 rooms without putting anything in them and you complete the quest?
What do you mean?
So the quest is build 2 level 1 bathrooms in A24.
Yeah.
If you build just the room without putting the anything in it, it counts as level 1. So you can complete the quest just by putting the room.
I went through the trouble of crafting because like
Yeah.
when I made
Toilets.
when I made the A24, like I only had one bathroom and it was enough.
I was about to say the same thing.
That's the first. So the first quest is build 1 bathroom. Then there's a
Yeah,
later quest where you
that's
build
the
2.
second one.
Yeah, the problem is I made 1 bathroom and everywhere else was rooms, so I had no space to put a second bathroom.
Yeah.
So what I also did was when like that happened, I just tore down the entire place and started again.
I tore down my bar and just built another one.
Yeah, I just resized the other rooms
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I had to resize the other rooms.
because again, it doesn't really
It-
punish. It doesn't really punish you for that either. You can just the only thing is if you have a guest in the room,
Yeah.
then it'll kick them out and you lose that income. But other than that, it's
In your ratings go down.
it's pretty generous. Pretty generous.
After a while, I stopped caring about ratings because it's not even a total average. It's a decent average.
So if you want to get a high rating, you just focus for a bit.
Yeah.
You focus making sure that they're happy for a bit. Interesting. Yeah, so I got used to talking to really, if you want to make the rooms look nice, that's really going to be motivated by you, by whether you want to make them look nice, because the game doesn't really reward you for making them look nice. It's more that if you want to get your decorations that high, just buy 10 paintings.
I feel like I made my rooms look decently nice and comfortable.
You can. It's fine. The thing is, I mean, even I also did do some rooms very well, but I also found out that it doesn't really matter because they just look at everything as a number. So
They do. Yeah. So it really just, if it matters to you, which it did matter to me later on, like the first area, I didn't really care just because I was.
When the first area is a lot smaller, so
yes.
you only have so much room to deal with. So you're just like, just give me the number.
Yes, it's once I got to the farmhouse and then the other two after the farmhouse.
And,
then I started being like, okay, where do I put this carpet? Oh, this carpet really brings the room together,
Get all HGTV in this.
But yeah, it decoration and comfort. I'll be honest, I don't. If you're not interested in making a BnB nice, you're probably not gonna like this game anyways.
But the thing is, like, I feel like the game kind of not directly, but it still indirectly kind of makes you care about the look of your rooms.
Yeah, I think one way it does it is by having you look at it. It's like you constantly have
Yeah,
to see
yeah.
these rooms.
Again, it's up to you to decide like how. I mean, like for example, like I was gonna bring this up as well. Do you guys remember I sent the picture of
Oh,
that
yeah.
small bathroom I
Yeah.
Yeah.
made? Like that was a level 2 or 3 bathroom,
Mm.
but it was
Yes.
so just because of the stuff in it. So
Right.
at that point, it was like it was only when I was doing those I was like, oh, this is really just this thing. So, but it did bother me as well because I especially felt it a lot with certain like I built like the first dining room
Mhm.
and I put the stuff in and I realized Hank couldn't walk through the
No. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
but it doesn't matter because the
Surprisingly,
guests can walk
the
through.
guests can though, right?
Yeah, that's
Well,
in a way that's good because
I was having an issue where I was like, oh, my guests are getting stuck in some of the dining room areas. Like
Yeah.
they're trying to
they
get to the
can
food and they get
really.
stuck. They
Yeah,
can
they
get
can.
stuck. And I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? But then later on, I was just walking past the diner in A24, which you can't affect. You don't design the diner. It's just sort of
Yeah.
there. And guests were getting stuck in the diner. And so I was like, is it my so this isn't my fault.
Where you found a bug?
I think the
It's
only
not
things
my
that
fault. It must be the games.
because there were instances where like all the beds that I place in my rooms are like always up against like the corner of the room, and there were
Mhm.
some times where when the guests wake up from their sleep, they would wake
And
up
they're stuck.
from the corner at the corner near the wall, and they can't get out, and I'm just like,
Yes,
eh.
yes, that happened to me as well.
That was the one moment where aesthetics mattered to me because I used to do that as well. Put the bed in the corner to maximize space, but then I was like, nah,
They get
and then I
stuck.
put it in the middle of the room and like.
Nah, I just
that's
left it
my
like that. I realized like the only thing you really need to do is make sure that they have enough room to go in and out. If they get stuck in the room, that's their problem.
Although it probably affects your.
Because like no, it doesn't. It doesn't really.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Because
Good.
like if
Yeah.
you haven't noticed, like if you like usually guests come in and they check in, check out at 9 a.m. And if you go to a different area like past 9 a.m., like the moment you load into the area, only you see the guests coming and going.
Hmm.
Yes,
Like
yes.
the
It
like
can
when
be 6 a.m. Sorry, not 6 a.m.
Yeah.
6 a.m. or 9 p.m. And when you
Yeah.
load into the area, the guests are arriving.
yeah. So like it's clearly that the animation or the actual
code.
the visual cue of guests coming and going are irrelevant as when compared to like the actual numbers that are happening behind the scenes.
Yes. That was interesting. And also, the more guests you have, the more trash they drop. Which, but yeah, but I think it became the fact that the game does not penalize you for making it inaccessible, like the rooms, or making it like hard to navigate at points. It just disincentivizes me wanting to make it spacious. I
Technically.
did try, but then I didn't.
Well, again, you need the space to also put the stuff in because I also got to this point where like I couldn't even put in a foot. Like I was making rooms to the point where I couldn't I could only put in the bed and the dresser, and that's it. I was like, no, that's not enough.
What size rooms were you making?
Minimum 3x3.
Minimum.
I was like all my rooms ended up being 4x4, and I had enough to like get like the highest
I
level
think
rooms.
I think some rooms you can maximize the amount of stuff if you know how to put in the items and get the highest comfort and all that
Min-max.
If
requirements.
you have
Min-maxing.
engineering major, then
I
figure
have
out how to do
learned
it.
I have learned the art of mid-maxing my rooms. They were all pretty good, except for those cushy guests that wanted like 72 comfort or something.
But honestly, you don't need those guests. You can just go for like the lower ones and get your stuff done.
Yeah,
Those
you don't
guests
need those
usually are
guests.
harder to.
Is it bad to take? I mean, you get less money, but is it bad to take the guest in?
If you care about reviews,
If you care, more. Yeah, one thing is reviews, and
But it doesn't
you waste
affect
a lot.
you having a low review overall review doesn't affect your ability to get guest
it doesn't.
requests,
But like, I think it's mostly to do with the quests, right? There are some
Yeah.
where it's just like horse guess with the luxurious trait or horse
Yeah.
Hmm.
guess
Or
and get this many reviews.
get 10 5-star reviews.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
One
like
of the
those
best.
ones don't, and it's also better not to go for like 2-day ones. Better to go for the ones with 1 day and stuff like that. So it's
After a
easy
point,
to
I
like.
stopped caring and just automated everything.
Yeah.
I didn't. I just took everyone. I was like,
Just took
I
everyone.
take all comers basically.
All comers. One other one other thing about management is you may decorate the room, you may add in comfort, make it comfortable, but if they need a bathroom, you need to build a separate bathroom, like we alluded to earlier.
Those special rooms.
And
Yeah.
this applies to hygiene, which is the bathrooms, food, which is dining rooms, and you need a kitchen to make the food for the dining room, and then heating. Uh, all three of those things, you need to make additional rooms to make those things work. Hygiene and food. Well, hygiene, you need the bathrooms to be close to the rooms, close enough that they affect the rooms.
Yeah.
Whereas food and heating, you just need them to be in the building.
Yeah.
Also, did you know that you shouldn't build a bathroom near the kitchen because those create negative traits for each other, and they cross out certainness, like it lowers the values of both of them.
You
That is
should build a
something that
bathroom near a kitchen.
if you build a bathroom near a kitchen or next to a kitchen or something like that, it lowers
Really?
the stats of both. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know
that is
that.
something.
It
Bathroom?
does.
I didn't know
It does.
bathrooms have negative stats.
It's not negative. It's just it lowers. It's whatever its highest is becomes lower because it's near the kitchen. I don't know what it is. I read it somewhere.
I always
It came to source. It came to me in a dream.
I just stuffed the negative rooms into a corner somewhere in the building and
Yeah.
just let it be.
Which I will say, it does feel like you're kind of managing, like you're trying to make the guests happy when you have to put the not so nice heating rooms in a corner away from the guests, because that's real life. Probably, I never see
Yeah.
heating rooms when I'm at a hotel.
I mean, yeah.
One thing I don't like about
All by design.
all by design. One thing I don't like about the heating and kitchen is that it reduces the overall hotel decorative number.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the heating
Yeah.
definitely does. I don't know about
Yeah.
the kitchen.
I was very annoyed in the winter place, the ski resort.
But
by
the
that.
thing is, like, and I realized that also, like, when it comes to the decorations in Took's dumpster, like, there are like stuff for bathrooms and kitchens and even the heating room. So, like, you're meant to decorate those rooms and
To
kind of
offset
offset it. Yeah.
I didn't do anything. You know what I did? I had a lobby, and Seshan saw a
I
bit of
saw.
this.
I saw.
Seshan saw a bit of this. I had a lobby, and from Took, he has some items that have high decorative stuff, but they don't cost that much. And there was these logs, all right? They had 4 decorative set, and they cost like maybe 10, 20 trash. So I bought about 50 of them.
and just put them around your lobby.
I'm going
Yes.
to share this photo with you. And see the Akshan's decorative abilities.
Oh my god! See, there you go.
Wow. Okay.
For all you audio listeners, you'll just what we're looking at is is the lobby of one of the ski resorts filled with many logs, just unceremoniously placed there.
And all your decor favorite guests are like, "Wow, amazing!
Wow, it's amazing.
This
I
is
know.
art."
Honestly, if I saw this in a hotel, I'd be impressed.
You're easily
I
impressed,
don't
I see.
share your sentiment on the subject, but you are welcome to think the way you think.
Well, thing is, it allowed me to decorate the rooms the way I like. I just sort of made that corner for like, here's a freaking decoration step to counteract my freaking heating room. And I ranked up pretty quickly after doing that. So I was like,
I am curious as to how you got rid of everything to put more rooms in, but
got rid of everything to put more rooms in. How do I say it like that?
Are you saying you left that like that?
Yeah, no, I left that like that.
Well, he needs it, right? Because if he removes it, then all the whole boost of it drops.
I didn't just do it for a meme. I did it because it was genuinely
You did it
effective.
with purpose,
This,
Sashan.
Sushant, this is the meta. You don't understand. This is peak performance.
Yeah, my rooms are I for every room for every building that had 2 floors, I put all my bedrooms on the top floor and all of the facilities on the bottom. So
I'm lost for words.
That makes sense. I didn't do that, but I understand why you did it. Wait. How many rooms did you have in the winter place? Out of curiosity.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I had 16.
I had
Yes,
13.
Can't remember how much
Jeez.
mine was.
I made a lot of space. I think from High Lake onwards, I made a lot of space and like gave each room some breathing area. So
I had 16 rooms in Winterberry and I had 19 in Pinefall.
I
Nice.
clearly did not mid max. I just maxed.
I went all
It,
mid-max.
I mean, it worked out for you. So who are we to judge?
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Whatever shall work, as we say.
Mhm.
Which yes. All right. So food.
Is
Food.
that your reaction to food?
Yeah, that's everyone's reaction to food in this game.
True.
Yeah,
Everyone's
that
reaction to
was
food in this game.
not a fun experience.
Initially, food. You have to make freaking corn on the cob and put it into the freaking buffet table, and then only the guests are happy. So that you have to have different kinds of food. I thought you could make one type of food a lot. But no, you have to have multiple types of food to increase your freaking food stack.
Mhm.
And I just once
Dare
I
I
had
say,
enough.
dare I say, I think they overcooked that particular feature.
Eh,
Yes.
Uh,
There's so much, like there's like a card system for like, okay, I'm using, I have this type of cookware, so I have this many cards to boil, this many cards to fry. I was like, this is so in depth for something that you can automate later.
So since you all did automate, like what's the change? It's just that
You just pay
You
her
just pay money.
400 gold and she just fills the buffet with whatever you want.
Yeah.
okay.
Basically,
And so
you choose what dishes you want, and those dishes they all
This
add up to
applies
like
to every
every
place for
every
the kitchen and buffet. Sorry,
Yeah.
dining
yes.
room. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
you pay per
yeah.
dish. You pay per dish, and if there are two buffet stands, you and like you're putting 6 items in each, then you like have to pay for all 12 dishes.
Yes. Yes. It's per dish as well, to be fair. Yes.
it's a bit
This is-
expensive, but once you keep the stores running, then you
Yeah.
should be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like
I
I
had to
mean,
turn off. Yeah.
I think the alternative is not effective in the least. So I don't really know, but I feel like the only reason that the cooking mechanic is there is because it's there for the story and the quests.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
literally
feel
it.
I feel like they might have wanted to do more with it, but they had it and they let it sit the way it was. It wasn't like hell on earth. It wasn't a hell on earth mechanic that I dreaded having to deal with.
I thought it was going to be, but then actually, when you look back, it's all right.
I think
It's
the reason we think that is because that you are able to. Uh, I feel like certain like that particular mechanic. It took a while for us to get there, but
Mhm.
after we unlocked the cooking mechanic and everything, it didn't take too much time till you were able to automate it. Like you spent like just enough of time to get annoyed with it, and then you're given the option to automate it, and then just forget about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I think when you realize that the card, because I thought the card system was going to be a bit more punishing, but actually it isn't. It's just saying you have space to do this, or you have the capability to do this.
You want to know an interesting story about that card thing?
It
I
doesn't
was
matter.
I was trying to make a particular dish,
Okay.
and I looked up the recipe on the wiki because I was like, okay, what cards do I need, right? And like I think it was, I can't remember. It was like it was a specific type of card. I can't remember what it was. And then I was looking at all the different kitchen equipment stuff, and I was like, okay, what kitchen equipment will most likely have this card? And I was like, okay, it's most likely this. I built it, placed it, and I couldn't see it. I was like, okay, maybe it's this other one. Built it, placed it, couldn't see it. I ended up upgrading everything in my kitchen to level 4 or level 5, whatever the max level. I think it's level 4. I upgraded everything to level 4, and I still couldn't see it. Lo and behold, it's a little arrow at the bottom.
Oh, you didn't scroll.
That shows that there are more cards. I was so pissed.
But you could use the autofill though, right?
No, at that point I didn't have autofill.
Oh wow. Okay.
This is like in the start before getting autofill, and I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh god. Yeah, that's not fun.
Nope.
Yeah, cooking. I think they undercooked on that. I think they need to cook it a bit more.
Undercooked.
Or as Lata said, overcooked. I will either way. They either put too much effort in some areas, or they didn't put as much.
I just
to
feel like they
really
had
make it.
they had an idea for an interesting mechanic. They implemented
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
the payoff wasn't
That's good.
worth it. I feel like if there was a way to
For us anyway. I mean, I guess there are some people who will go cards, but
I feel like
Yeah. I mean, if you played this game, tell us if you enjoyed the cooking mechanic.
I mean, the food
in the comments
options
down
are
below.
plentiful, but it's just that getting those items.
no.
Yeah, there's so many food options, man.
there's a lot
Why
of
is
space.
there so much food? Why isn't it just a toggle of like, I want this quality food?
Wait. So,
But
sorry,
to be fair,
sorry.
it's a good thing.
Question. If because I'm not sure about this one. For the guests, I know quests require certain types of dishes, right?
Yes.
For the guests, can you just
No.
make anything and they'll be
Yeah.
happy with it?
It's
Yep.
just a numbers game with the guests.
Yeah, the guests become a numbers game.
What you're
Undertale.
saying is this is all a numbers game.
I
No,
feel
it's a
like the
min
only
game.
reason
Listen.
I feel like the only reason cooking is really annoying is because you add the resource gathering part into it and it becomes a real bother. I feel like if either one had to be automated and they chose to automate cooking.
If they had a better farming mechanic, maybe it would have balanced.
That's what I'm
out
also
properly.
thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was
I don't think you touched on the farm. Oh, it's not much. It's just
not
that there's a
farm.
farm.
The
It's
reason I
foraging.
didn't touch on it as a farming is it's just foraging a farm area.
Yeah, and you don't even get to plant anything, right? Because it's
You don't
just
plant, it's just there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
This farm, like this game, it has some comparisons you can make to Stardew, but it does not have a farming system. It doesn't have a crop
I feel
system.
I feel like they thought the foraging bit was tedious enough and that keeping the cooking as a requirement would have probably put people off.
I think
Yes,
it's a roadblock for them to see whether who progresses further ahead in the story and who is just reluctant to stop at that point.
What do you mean?
As in, like,
But the side
it's
quests.
a separator. Yeah, no, the cooking aspect. Like, you gotta get these items.
I mean, would a dev really do that?
I don't know. Just saying. You don't know what people think. Maybe.
Interesting. Possible.
I feel like if you had to do just think about it like this. I feel like by the time you get to the final area that you're already unlocked the automatic cooking part. Right? Imagine having to do that for Pinefall. Like imagine there wasn't any automation having to cook. Like I feel like you'd spend the entire day that you have trying to.
Oh, when I got to Pinefall, that's when I found out you could automate it.
Oh.
So I had to manually do the cooking thing for High Lake and the ski resort.
Yeah, so it's not an easy thing. I was able to manually do the heating thing for a while.
Oh yeah,
Because
It's very
heating is
interesting.
not really a problem, right? You just like chuck a bunch of fuel in and you leave it.
You can walk off, yeah.
but like the
Yes.
cooking one is like,
The most.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. It's like it kind of takes away from the the logic of the game, but it's a bit weird that you can keep the heat to whatever higher temperature you want, and guests are fine with it. No guest is like, this is too bloody hot.
I don't know what you're talking about. All my cabins were 40 degrees.
Exactly. It's degrees Celsius. Degrees Celsius. It's absurd.
Uh,
Oh god.
I
You
don't
rather see
understand.
them
I didn't
burn
understand
alive.
how heaters work.
I did. It's just that they're so weird. They're so simple but weird because it's just they
What I
they
what
raise
I
the
what I
temperature
didn't understand was how much fuel is burnt
per
per
hour. It's per
Yeah.
hour.
It's per
It's like
Okay, so
three
how-
per hour.
how much is burnt?
one. I think.
One per hour.
1 per hour. Okay.
I think it
believe
just
that.
gets more efficient the higher up you go. But like the part that I didn't understand is that like I needed 2 heaters in every building in Winterberry, obviously because it's colder.
Mhm.
Oh, I
like-
didn't know you needed two. I just put one in each.
Because like I put one and it didn't reach minimum requirement. Like I was
It's
always
because
like,
the heater
Yeah.
that you use must have been a bit old.
no, it
though.
was the
Highest
highest
one?
end one. Yeah.
The
Yeah, the
in-game heater.
Yeah. You put the highest end one in, and at night the temperature drops. So even with the heater, the temperature goes down.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. The temperature drops as the day goes by. So, like I always like get this thing where it gets like it's too cold in the cabin. And I'm like, fine, burn.
Yeah, Winterberry you need more than one high end heater, whereas Pinefall is not in a snow area, so you just need one and you're good.
But it is cold because it's windy, right?
And it rains.
Yeah, here's windy. Yeah, just close your windows. What's wrong with them? We got into this a bit in regards to hiring. You can hire people to also specifically a what do you call that type of dog that Jax is?
Saint Bernard's.
Saint Bernard. He's a Saint Bernard. We'll get into. I just realized Hank's freaking. Is it his sister? It's another dog. Why are there dogs?
Annie.
Annie, yes.
I think they're just like roommates or like people that Hank's mom is.
I was so confused by
okay,
them.
So I read this. They are Hank's friends who were adopted by Hank's mother.
Oh yeah, because the yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
it, but the story.
Yeah.
Yes. They were. I remember they were adopted, but it was just so weird. I
Both
thought,
them,
what
only
kind
one of
of
them.
bear are you?
Both of them, only one of them.
Both. They're both adopted.
Oddly enough, I was not confused by the bird. I was like, oh, she's dating a bird, and then I realized she's not dating a bird. That's just her friend.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wait, they're not. No, they are. They are. No, wait,
They are dating.
They are?
No.
Wait, what?
I actually don't know.
Let's go on to the wiki.
I
Annie and
thought-
Will. Sorry. She's a Carolean bear dog. She's brave but clumsy. There's literally no other information on
Yeah,
her.
that's
Will.
Okay. Head canon that they're dating. There you go.
yeah. I don't want to make that headcanon.
I think no, Will is a drunk bird and a friend of Annie. He's a drunk bird.
Okay.
Friend. All right, quote unquote friend.
Is he a drunk bird?
I've never seen him
Okay.
drink. Maybe it's implied.
I feel like you
kids.
need to look. Yeah, I think it's implied.
All right, drunk birds. We should give a bird alcohol. So, in the
Okay.
another thing that you can do for the rooms, that not do for the rooms, you don't need to do this per building. You can do this in one building, and you're good for the whole resort, which is make lounges, theaters, museums, and some other. I forgot the other one. Campfires, stuff like that.
There's more, isn't there? So you start with bars. You get campfires.
Bars.
You get lounges.
Lounge and movie theater.
Movie theater. You get the arcade and the museum.
Museum, yeah.
There are 6 special rooms.
And all those things all they really do is allow you to get guests that like those things, that require those things for their stay. And yeah, that's really all they do. And the quests also ask you, hey, build a museum, bro.
Yeah, they're part of the main quest lines. At least. Yeah,
Are they?
at least.
You mean the
Eh,
museum?
Yeah, the museum is.
The
Yeah,
arcade
even the
is for
movie
the
theater,
side quests.
even movie theater and lounge
Yeah.
Fin quest, right? So
Yeah, he just makes you make it just to complete the resorts. I think Finn's
Yes.
quest
which
line
I
is
would
just
argue is
yeah.
it is progression, no? To
It
go to the
is,
next level.
but it didn't really.
Put it this way: if you don't do it, you can't progress.
Yeah.
So then it becomes
wrong
progression.
because I finished the main story and then finished Finn's stuff.
No. So that's after Pinefall, right? So up to Pinefall, to get to
Yeah,
Pinefall,
you
you have to
need-
do everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you need to do Finn stuff at least at Winterberry.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Funnily enough, Pinefall, you don't actually have to complete. Yeah, I mean, you can you don't have to complete it as long as you meet all the other requirements. You're fine. Because actually, well, I guess this gets into the story, but you're asked to build the cabins back,
Yeah.
but you don't actually have to furnish them. So that there you go.
Yes. Hiring helps. There's a rat that also cleans up trash for you, and you don't have to pick up the trash every now and then.
I do like Wayne.
Yeah, his name's Wade. I had to turn him off just because he costs so much. I had to turn him off for everywhere. I put him in one place, and that was it.
I feel
I'm
like
surprised Wade didn't go on strike.
yeah.
Demand, but
The thing is, I feel Wade starts becoming more valuable once you have more guests.
Yes, once the rooms were filled, yes, he was valuable. Yes. So we got into that a little bit. The quests. When you start the game, the way it begins is this guy named Finn on a sort of voice thingy is like, "Hey, you want to make a room? Do these things for me, and then we can register as a BnB, and we can send guests to you." Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Money opportunities.
Yes, and he's essentially the through line to which your bear and breakfasting takes you through. And so he gives you a bunch of tasks like get this many 5-star reviews, put a freaking arcade in the resort, put a poo, and he tells you to do these things. On top of that, there are quests given to you by NPCs just randomly around the world, like, hey, deliver this letter to the madam, and the madam tells you, hey, get me a carrot. Things like that. It's very hard to tell where the quests are just because they're not there are some arrows when you get into areas, but I seldom notice them.
Wait, what?
The arrows.
I seldom notice them because
The quest arrows?
Yes.
My God. Okay.
I mean, to be fair,
you are truly an adventurer, is all I can say.
The way the arrows are like designed are kind of like it's subtle but not subtle.
I guess you could avoid them, but
you can't really see them sometimes.
It's not that I avoided
it's because
them.
they're on the edge of the screen, right? I think that's
Yes. Yes, I didn't want to avoid them. I just for some reason couldn't see them.
You were so focused on watching Hank.
To be fair, Akshan's attention span is
questionable.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah. Today's game is flooded.
I can imagine like you're on your way to where that arrow is pointing and then you just see something and like, oh, what's this?
No, that did happen. That does happen usually. That's my problem with side quests. I forget the main I forget the main quest even exists. Yeah. The tasks were never confusing. They were never confusing as to what you had to do, but it was confusing as to where I had to get stuff. Like for the longest time, I didn't know where to get loggers tools.
Did they not explain it?
They do. It is a tutorial, but I think if you might forget it because you can only get it in the one area at Timber Crossing, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So I think even for me also, when I was looking for bus signs, I'd forgotten, and then
Yeah,
then I
bus
was
signs.
then I was going past that way, and I was like, "Huh, what does this do?" And then I saw all the stuff there, and I was like, "Okay, I must remember now that this person has everything."
Yes. Pro tip: if you're gonna play this game, check the shops because they might have the things you need for
Yeah.
quests.
I will
That's
say
what I
this
like.
It's like a
though.
tip for all video games, basically.
I will say this though. The only part of the quest that really that did annoy me was the fact that the quests don't track progress, which for me was a bit annoying when it came to
You
the
mean
end
they
game and actually
tell you
finishing stuff.
how many things you picked up and stuff?
Not how many things you picked up and stuff. Like, so for example, like so once you're done with the basic requirements at a certain property, you unlock the management quests, which are like extra quests to uh, gain more money and upgrade your BnBs. And so like every single last quest from the management quest, like the final management quest, is always something to do with getting reviews or hosting a certain type of guest. But
Yeah.
I never know how many of those I have gotten. They only
Okay, I get it.
I agree. I never. Yeah, it seldom tells you.
It
yeah.
only tells you when you're done.
Yeah, it tells you when you're done, and then at that point you're just like, okay, at least it's over. But like, I feel like
Yeah.
showing the progression kind of
Yeah,
Would
I
be
think
nice.
that's
Would
a
be
quality
nice.
of life thing that I feel like the game's been out for a while. I feel like if maybe they're working on the update more, but I feel like that would have been a nice quality of life thing to have. I agree that happened quite a bit while playing. Yeah, I agree about the bus signs. I was just not going to use the buses because I had no idea how to upgrade the bus, where to get these bus signs from. Yes. Specific items. I'm trying to remember what specific items I was trying to find. I did not know where to find the crowbar. I think I just gave up and started just playing the game and hoped that at some point I'll get a crowbar.
Yeah, but then like I feel like it was a story item, so
Well, actually, you wouldn't have known about that if you didn't look at the achievements. I'm
no,
just
no,
saying.
no. You
No,
do
no,
not
no.
You
go
do?
on the beach.
I went to the beach. I went to the beach, and it was like you need a crowbar, and I was like,
Oh,
oh.
okay. I never went that way. Okay, right. Okay. To be honest, I only realized it when I got it, and then the achievement popped, and then I was like, "Oh, you guys are talking about the crowbar."
I don't think there are any like difficult to find. I know the difficult to find item. They do not tell you that items like milk, rice, eggs, sugar, and
Yes.
flour can be bought at Ipswich's shop.
They have
Yes.
milk rice in this game.
Milk and rice.
Milk and
Yeah.
rice,
Sorry,
not milk.
sorry.
Milk and
I
rice.
got a little bit too excited there. I apologize.
But yes, I this is why I didn't hire anybody for so long because I didn't know that that's where you get eggs, milk. I thought like, oh, I have to progress the story to unlock these
Yeah.
things.
I was
Because
like,
all of the hires require you to make food, which needs those ingredients.
yeah. I was like on the lookout as I was going through like highlight and stuff like where is there a barn with a chicken for me to get an egg from or a cow to milk? And I was like,
Exactly.
where?
I thought, okay, if I get Pinefall, then I'll unlock farmland or something.
Yeah.
That could have been part of the. That could have been part of a tutorial.
To be honest, like I didn't even know that Ipswich had. I knew it had a shop. I didn't know that you can.
I didn't know.
I didn't know it was accessible.
I
to
didn't know
us.
he had anything interesting.
I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Like the only time
So
he
you-
actually explains that he has a shop is when you reach Pinefall and it's like, here's my cart.
And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, you have that.
Ah, you have a cart.
You have that.
Interesting. Why is it all the way on the other side of the map? He makes you walk all the way.
All by design, Sasha. All by design.
Mhm.
Or part of a plan.
uh one benefit of getting all this stuff is that you unlock the hires and then you unlock all this stuff. But one thing of completing the quest is you get equipment that helps you, like doubling your inventory size, increasing your movement speed, which is the only one I liked or cared about. Sorry, not like cared about. Because it just allowed me to move faster across the bloody land.
But you get that you get that pretty soon into the game that like it doesn't really...
You do. But it was still breath of fresh air.
It was. I think the
Try
real
playing
game
the game again
changer
from the beginning.
the real game changer are the last couple of trinkets.
Yes. At some point you're able to manage all of the resorts from one
Pager.
button.
The pager.
Yes, from the pager. You're able to build without having to go to the workbench.
Mm.
Things like that. It breath fresh air, you know.
Okay.
My mind is blanking. I was hoping someone was going to say
You were
something.
going on. You were going on so well. Suddenly, all the thoughts had come.
I mean, like the only thing I could add to that is the fact that like sprinkled in with the personal upgrades you get are the cosmetics to hang.
I put him in suspenders and I was happy.
I left him in the business suit.
I put him in suspenders and a business suit.
I put him in Christmas because.
Did you? I don't know if you all noticed this, right? So like,
I kept him shirtless.
Nice.
Damn.
Oh
yeah. I think you're about to say this. What I was going to say.
Like you notice that when you start the game and you don't have any items on, like the guests are scared of you, and then like.
And then when you wear clothes, people get happy. Yeah.
But it turns out it's just the hat.
It's just the hat.
I think it's makes sense. I would trust a bear with a hat over a bear without a hat.
Without the hat.
Yeah, but that's just me. That's just
life
me. And everyone in the valley apparently.
So Anuk, I have an important question for you.
Yes.
Would you rather be stuck alone with a bear or a...
Oh no.
Oh no, Seshan.
Or a bear with a hat.
Yes,
I would be rather stuck with a bear with a hat.
A bear with a hat.
Trust the bear with the hat.
Lovely. Well, let's move on from this. Go into the story, shall we? If you're interested in the gameplay, that's the main reason you probably want to play the game anyway. So if you don't want spoilers, we're just going to spoil it from here. Not that your gameplay experience is going to be ruined by listening to this. At your own risk. Yeah, full spoilers here. Full spoilers ahead. What's her name again? Amanda?
Barbara?
Barbara, yes. Barbara.
I gotta say, since we're going to spoiler territory and whatnot, as much as I appreciate that you all found the dialogue and the story memorable, the fact that you all can't remember the characters' names.
Okay, no.
I think the dialogue is memorable. This is where I have more criticism. The stories.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say the story is not. Let's go.
The story is weird.
Wait, hang on. Before that, since we are in spoiler territory, can anyone tell me what is the main story?
The main story is really you're a bear that
you're a bear and you serve breakfast at a BnB.
And you were supposed to get your mother some stuff, but then you go and you start at a BnB as you do.
And your mother doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Your mother doesn't really care.
Which, let me point out to you, the weird thing is that like it's Wade that convinces you to start the BnB, yet after you start it, Wade and Annie are just like absent from the entire...
Yeah,
that is so true. They don't show up ever again.
I was really expecting Annie to also be like a hireable that get that forager stuff for you because of like the way she was characterized. I was really expecting that, but she's just like, "Hello, dude."
Yeah, they just go back to your mom's place and just stay there. And just like let him work
Yeah.
and get all the money.
Yeah, I really thought she was going to help. Maybe they wanted to do a co-op, and she was the second in command.
I really don't think so.
I don't know.
I think she's just character. But you know the funny thing as well. I remember one of your early quests is you need to find some stuff, right? I think it was for the tourist booth.
Yeah,
When you're building the tourist booth, I think one of the things was you had to go back to the thicket
and get a
to get a
magazine from.
yeah. And I was just thinking, right? Like, you know how your mother says, "Don't go beyond this point; it's too dangerous."
Hmm.
And you just you just walk back casually, pick up the book, say hello to your mom, and just
Hmm.
just leave. It doesn't say anything.
Have you spoken to her when you don't have money?
Yes,
She
she
gives
just
you
gives you
money.
100 gold. She gives you 100 gold and says, "On your way."
Really?
boy.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Sorry, lads, I can't relate. I was always rolling in the goal.
I was out of money like 3 times, and she gave me 300 gold overall. Life hack right there.
Okay, so the
She's a
story
very
is
nice
you.
mother.
She's a very good mother. She cares for her kids, even the adoptive ones, but she lets them do whatever they want as long as they're safe. Okay, so you start the first BnB, then what happens?
Then you continue doing that, and then you meet a woman who's like, "We should make the valley great again. Have people come in again."
Make the valley great again.
I use the wrong phraseology, but whatever.
Push this
Hmm.
button. Pick off.
And then you upgrade the value, and then she's like, bring me money. You can bring her money.
Wait. You're skipping a lot.
But in the middle of bringing her money,
Skipping in the sense there's isn't there
wants you
anything
to.
between that?
She does tell you about like who she was. And she tells you that the world, like the story of the game isn't really, it's just you run a BnB. But the world of the game that you find out about as you go on is this post, like, revolutionary society that has wiped out all of humanity, and they've left the island. And there was a bird, a magical bird that came down and fought the god of chaos.
What he said.
The monuments left to these deities.
There are 4
And there's-
deities, yeah. And
And your brother was there, and he died helping one of the gods fight the god of chaos. And that's how you lost your brother. And your mother's like, "Ooh."
And this is why your mother won't let you go beyond the thicket. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Who is Hank's father? That's what I thought. When they said there was another bear in the valley, I thought it was going to be Hank's father, because it's his father. No, it's his brother that died in a war.
In a
Of the
fire, right?
gods.
in the fire, there's fire.
In the fire. But he apparently was looking at the gods, and the gods were like, "How's it going?"
I think people who haven't played this game and are going to listen to this are going to be very confused about this game.
I think
Hello.
we were confused when we like listened to this, because like I could accept the whole Barbara storyline, right? She explained it from a very human perspective. She's like, she started off like she was
The
in the
resort
valley when
they
she
were
was,
doing. Yeah.
yeah, she started the job of like running this pine fall and everything when
Pinefall,
she was young,
yeah.
and then like this chaos happened, and like like the fire and everything got ruined, and like she really loved the valley, and basically she did whatever she could to try to revive it. Right, she's the one who bought Finn back to the valley, not back to the valley, but she's the one who got Finn to come to the valley and start the Airbnb, not Airbnb, my bad, the BnB thing, BnB thing with Hank, putting aside the fact that Barbara took 50,000 gold from Hank and decided to go off on a cruise.
Sorry to interrupt you again. Do you think did you expect that to happen? Because that was the first time someone had asked you for straight up money, which I found at the time very suspicious.
I thought she just wanted us to raise 50,000. I didn't think she'd take it from us.
I also thought she was trying to raise 50,000, but I also I was in the spirit of Hank and was like, yeah, sure.
No, I mean you have to do it. Like you can't say no.
Yeah.
But I found that very interesting because that was the first time someone said straight up, "Give me money."
Yeah. And
This is
Everything
really-
else is like barter system. Like, oh, you give me a pie, I'll come work. Well, technically, you have to pay for these people. But this was the first time they were like, she was like, "Give me money."
Yeah. But like I feel like the ending and I'll get into this bit also afterwards. Like, she took your money, she left, and I guess that was her reward for kind of getting the valley back on its feet. Side note, I really question the entire scene that happened between Hank and the postcard on the dock.
Yes.
Question in the sense.
The postcard was sentient for that entire conversation. Do you not remember this?
I think that was just Hank in his head.
Yeah.
He was just tripping out on mushrooms that he found.
I don't think it was tripping out mushrooms. I think when you got to the postcard, it was him recounting the events to his family later on.
Yeah.
Because immediately
Yeah.
from that moment, it
Yeah.
cuts over to them.
I don't think it was ever a sentient postcard. It's just like
Yeah.
it's the internal voice in your head where you're like,
Should I
Yes,
open this?
yes,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know if you should
"There's a
open this.
letter and this," and then you're reading it. So I think it's just in your head.
But then, like as I was saying, it's like that account of that is by far like the main and official story that I feel like the game follows. But the side quest and the side story is, I think, reflects the main story, but in a different dimension.
In a different dimension. Here's the thing: I didn't like when I didn't see like how it was framed on the wiki and stuff. Like what's the main story, what's the side stuff. So when I was playing it, I didn't really register that was the main story.
I wonder why this is going this way.
It was so much stuff. There was you had to go down this entire set of corridors, like a maze, like cave system, to find this bird that was a mythological creature, but it wasn't actually. But then it was another mythological creature,
And then
and there's
fox,
another bird,
and there's a
Yes.
fox, and there's another bird,
and then you go climb a freaking mountain to freaking meet the god of serenity. I don't remember what the god was of. But
Yeah.
a deity that fought the god of chaos that killed your brother.
and
And then I closed the game because I was done.
I just like the only takeaway that was there from that entire thing is that I feel like the game was just trying to say that when you start off, like when Hank's character when he starts off, like there's like a separation that the animals feel. They feel like animals are good and humans are bad. And I feel like whatever that story was trying to do is just trying to say that both sides have good and bad.
Good and bad.
And bad, yeah.
And like I feel like that's just like the overall story that they were trying to take with a very grand I don't know. It's a very
Yeah.
grand story.
I feel they would try to illustrate that. I do think that it still like it doesn't make it any less out of left field. It doesn't like
It doesn't.
it doesn't suddenly this is all cohesive. It makes sense together. No,
Wait,
Unless-
you're saying it does or doesn't?
It
doesn't.
I think
No,
Barbara's storyline is fine. It just it's human. It explains.
It's human and it ties into what you were doing, right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yes. You're helping the valley, and then you get betrayed by the woman who was claiming to also help
And
you.
humans are bad, yeah. Like that's
Yeah. But then there are good humans, like the ranger
Oliver.
lady.
And Oliver.
no, there are good humans, but yeah, there are good humans, but you get betrayed by the human you trusted them.
Yes.
The side story just I don't know what it does. I don't feel like it greatly affects anything in the game.
I also like. I mean, I think I told you guys I didn't actually play it, but I did read about it. So then I knew what was happening, and when I read it, I was like, okay, this is fine.
I recommend.
I'm
either watching someone do it.
I might go back. There isn't really a. I mean, I guess there is a video, but I didn't.
The main reason I say I recommend it is because the art is really good.
Yeah.
I don't mind playing through it now, but I feel like for a lot of people, I think they can just
Stop
play
playing.
up until Barbara's story, and again,
I mean,
it's
that-
not
that is
framed
the-
as a
that is
progression
the
quest.
main
You can,
story. So like,
yeah.
I think like talking about the story and all this. Yes, it's weirdly somber, weirdly epic, and grand as hell. But that brings up another point, which has to do with the gameplay loop in general, which is that there isn't really much of an in game once you finish Barbara's story. Let's say,
yeah.
once you finish the side quests for the lodges, like there's no motivation to continue on playing. You'd have to start from the beginning if you want to get any sense of progression again.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
There's no in game. There's no continuation that allows.
I guess it's the equivalent of continuing a Stardew save after your grandfather speaks to you, right? Like
Yeah,
it's more.
and you can.
Well,
There are more.
actually, to be fair, no, that's not a. I shouldn't use that comparison because Stardew does have a lot of stuff post that.
I feel like the only difference is that in Stardew Valley, like you're still required to like interact with your farm and do specific tasks and certain things. Bear and Breakfast is made in such a way that like automation is the end game, and afterwards there isn't really much to do.
I guess the next thing is you wait for the next update, because again, if they're going to be adding more story, more resorts and stuff like that, like you're just waiting to see what comes next. And then when they finally add the battle pass system where you can get all your favorites.
God damn it! You can unlock any.
They're not
unlock any for $10.
Or it is in tier 1 of the battle pass if you buy it straight away.
Can't wait for the 6v6 playtests.
It's a joke. Everyone will
the BVB.
A little bit of a laugh at the
BnB.
I will say, even though we were making fun of it, props to them. I believe they said the next story update and all the future updates will be free. So
can't wait till Hank becomes the next deity of peace.
Well, that's what's implied. That's what's implied. The fourth
Hank
god is a
becomes-
bear.
Yeah.
Hank is the honestly, that's the ending.
Either that or his brother's a god now. And he just seemed to have died because he went missing.
Or left field, Hank's mother becomes the god and then abandons all her adopted children and says, I'm just going to be a god now. You all just manage the BnBs. By the way, I need 100,000. And Hank is going to say, okay.
Imagine Barbara comes back and she's like, I need more money for another crew.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, Barbara's coming back. Either an in cutscene.
You know what I think? Because the way they described the update is that they're going to be adding more story and more resorts. I feel like there's going to be. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a boat which takes you to Barbara's island, wherever Barbara is.
No, she's gone on a cruise. That means she has to come back.
Maybe she stops at another place. You never know.
But to be fair, there are supposed to be these cruises. I mean, real life tangent here. There's supposed to be cruises where you just live on it for the rest of your life until you die. So
the sweet life on deck.
Yeah, something like that. So I mean, that's probably what Barbara's doing.
Okay, I didn't know they're gonna add like more locations.
Well, that's what they say in the State of the Bear.
Hank going international with his BnB.
Yeah. IBNB international.
It looks, I mean, not to do too many spoilers, but if you look at there's a Steam update in the news section where they shows like they've added hot tubs, more tropical looking furniture. So I think they're clearly hinting that it's going to be on an island of some.
Yeah, like Stardew Valley.
Yeah, one of the farms. Yeah, exactly.
Where do you?
If I can Yeah, State of the Bear and Breakfast.
Is that the one from June?
Yes.
Also, having read that post, I agree. You should make a political simulator with bears.
Oh yeah, I
State
see
of
the hot
Bear.
tub. Yeah, okay. It does look very tropical, so maybe you're right.
It's
Yeah.
probably going to go tropical.
My
Actually,
guess is it's
It's
gonna be a
either
bird.
tropical or they have on the same island a beach resort.
I actually thought that the final resort was gonna be in a beach
Mm.
because I thought like, okay, we've done the forest, we've done another forest. We did the highway, the winter. I was thinking, okay, the next one,
If-
logical one is beach.
Honestly, the beach, yeah, they could have done something. I'm actually just gonna
Well,
quickly,
I guess they were saving it for the DLC. So there
I'm
you go.
going to paste a photo of the world map.
All right. Enjoy pasting that. I'm gonna gonna continue. Yes.
Honestly, they
So
could
that
expand the beach.
they could
So
expand.
while we were talking about, we went on a lot of tangents there. But I mean,
I was talking about the end game. I don't know whether we answered that topic or question.
What was the question?
I mean, aside from the deity side quest, I mean, the end game is just
Yeah, there's nothing much more to let you continue playing past the story end.
Yeah,
They left it on a cliffhanger, I think.
It does
a literal clip.
state of the bear on a literal cliff. Yeah. So yeah. Once the game took about 25, probably more than 25. It's like somewhat more than 25 hours to play to complete. Really. Uh, and once you've done those 25 hours, unless you want to play it again from the beginning, that's probably where you're going to end up at. Let's see if those updates increase those hours played. But yeah, that's our thoughts of the story. That's our thought of the gameplay. Anything else we want to add before we go into achievement hunting?
No.
Seshan, take the floor. Unless Delanta, you have something to say.
yeah. Thank you. I don't have anything to say.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Seshan.
I mean, like again, very similar to last time. Same. I'm not going to mention names this time, but three of us managed to perfect the game.
Hey, I wonder who the three were. Oh, wait a minute.
Which which is evidence of the ease of completing achievements in Bear and Breakfast. I think everything is story related or progress locked. Nothing's really out of the way.
There's one achievement. There's one achievement which
Oh,
you think, which most
yeah.
people have gotten, but you think that the game bugs and you didn't get it, which
The
is
very
the
first
waking up achievement. Yeah.
That is just basically playing the game over again and you skip the cutscene.
Yes, you need to skip the cutscene in the beginning to wake up early from your dream in order
But
to get that
light
achievement.
tip for you, achievement hunters. If you want to get it in the first playthrough, you just need to start the game and skip the cutscene. Then you get the achievement.
I don't think people want to miss the story.
Yeah, I don't think you want to miss that cutscene because it's
Well,
weird.
well, you know.
But
Yeah.
like I think even though there are like 43 achievements and it seems like a lot, I feel like you unlock everything fairly easily.
Yeah.
I
For
feel like
example, I was just doing the quests, doing all the side quests and stuff because I wanted to see everything. And then when I was done, I closed the game and I was like, oh, I got every achievement.
I feel like there might be that there are probably certain achievements that like you might have to put in extra time to completing that aren't mandatory. Like I feel like doing all the management quests are non-mandatory things. But if basically what I think the better way to say this is if you're gonna explore everything the game has to offer, you're gonna end up unlocking all the achievements. If not, you're gonna probably get about half the achievements, and the other half are based on stuff that you might need to do extra. But if you're a person that achievement hunts anyway, I feel like you're someone who delves into the every aspect
The
of the game
side stuff.
anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yes, yes. This on a scale of 0 being easy as pie. Actually, oh wait, what's and 10 being absurdly hard. What? Sorry, impossible. 10 being impossible. How difficult were the achievements to get?
3. I would say like
Yeah.
they're just it's easy, but like some of them are tedious, like the quests and then the museum stuff. That's about it. It's not
Lovely.
difficult.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a difficult achievement. We can attest. So that's our thoughts on the game. Thank you very much for listening. We're going to go into ratings now. Ratings for the game. We are either going to give it a try it or a skip it. Those are our 2 rating options. And so we're going to start with the person who picked the game, Seshan.
What can I say about this game? You know, I honestly don't know why I picked this game.
Are you sure you don't know why you picked this game?
I mean, to be fair, Sasha, like I think all of us kind of said that, like when we saw it 2 or 3 years ago, it looked
Yeah.
good. Like
Yeah.
the fact
I think that's the only reason like I had it on my wish list or anything. Like
I think I remember we saw the game and I said to you, "This is your kind of game. It's got literally a bear in it."
yeah. I think
Yeah.
just based off the aesthetic is the only reason I picked the game. And it seemed promising just based on the first looks that we saw. I didn't really know much else about the game. I knew it was the name suggests. I knew it was about a bear managing a BnB, but like I didn't like. It's not that I got what I expected, but it's not like I'm like the what's the word, that I'm overly impressed either by what was by what I experienced. I feel like I was pleasantly satisfied with the experience that Bear and Breakfast gave. The gameplay mechanic, even though I felt like the management sim part of it, I was afraid I'd not like it because too much games with too much information and too much things to do kind of put me off. But surprisingly, this was easy and simple to manage. And like Akshan mentioned, it's very Stardew Valley like, which also is a game I liked and it added to the reasons why I liked it. Obviously, putting the story aside, which is what the dev team was on when they decided to do that. I think other
I
than that,
appreciate it.
the core game in itself is a mighty fine experience that I think you can sink 20-30 hours of your time into this and be pleasantly satisfied as I was. And if it isn't obvious, I'm giving it a try because of the lovely experience.
Lovely.
Amazing.
All right, so we'll go from left. Oh, wait, left, right from there. Anuk.
Okay. I'll keep it short and simple. I feel like the game at the beginning was a bit too tedious to get into. Like there were so many things you needed to learn, and then you needed to micromanage a lot of things. But once you got the hang of it, I think it became easier to, I think you mentioned earlier as well, like min-maxing and stuff, trying to figure out what is the best comfort, what is the best size for this room, and then just using the same layout for every other places that you had to make your Airbnb and stuff like that. But in general, it is easy. It's a bit difficult to enter the game without what's the word? Without having just go play the game without having any high expectations of the game. But once you do play it, you'll enjoy the game for sure. So as a result, I'll give it a plate.
Right.
Just changing words. Yes, so give me a try. Lovely.
I did remember something that I should have added. And I think I mentioned this like when I first started playing the game. Is that I think I had the opposite feeling when I started playing it. I felt like the quest system is a real dopamine giver.
When you tick off something off your to-do list,
Yeah.
it's like
To be honest, that's how I'm living life at the moment.
So it really speaks to you, Sashan.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's see if it speaks to you, Delanta.
Okay, one thing I will say, I don't, even though we've said it a lot, I personally don't like the Stardew Valley comparison because aesthetically, yes. I think everything else, no, because characters did not hook me. Story, well, we said, I think we said enough about it. But gameplay is good. Simple, non-punishing. If you want a real, like, even though there is like a lot of walking, a lot of gathering and stuff, it is pretty simple. It won't punish you for mistakes. It'll let you keep trying and trying until you eventually get it. So I think that's good to have. Despite the fact that, again, I don't like the Stardew Valley comparison, even though I used it myself earlier. Because I was playing Stardew again recently because, I mean, again, tangent, but like the latest update for Stardew came out, right? So I was just going through a farm on that, and I was just thinking like, wow, this is incredible. And then I went back to Bear and Breakfast, and I was like, good. So again, I think you may think it's good. I was going to say skip it, but no, I still think try it. I think it's good, and I especially think if the dev team is going to continue to add more stuff to the game, that's nice. So that means you are working. They are working to give you a bigger experience, and you yourself will get a more rewarding experience over time. So I think it's worth getting in now and building yourself up to get ready for that. But it is not like Stardew Valley.
I understand
That's a
what you
question.
mean.
That's a question I want to ask about when you say it's not like Stardew Valley. Do you mean that it's not as good as Stardew Valley, or do you mean
No.
the gameplay loop is not like Stardew Valley?
Both.
Both.
It's not
I
as
feel
good
like
as Stardew Valley.
Stardew
and
Valley is a fuller game.
yeah.
Yes.
There's more
Stardew
to
Valley.
it.
I mean, here's the thing. It also has the benefit of what's it called? There's recency to it because technically Stardew today is a very full game, whereas Stardew 2 years into its launch probably would have been similar to Bear and Breakfast, as in it didn't have as much content as it has today.
Mm.
So maybe if we look back, like how old is Stardew now? Stardew is at least
8 years.
8 years old.
Yeah.
So wow, okay.
Bear and Breakfast is
Bear and Breakfast is only 2. It's only 2 years old. So maybe in 8 years we'll be like, wow, Bear and Breakfast is like this generation Stardew Valley. But I think right now it's a good experience, but it is simple and that's what it is.
Yeah, because Stardew Valley is like so multifaceted. Like it feels Bear and Breakfast feels like a comparison, but not really. It's like
Also, let's be honest, like in terms of, I think Stardew in theory has less of a main story than this does.
Yeah.
But I think Stardew's characters are just characters and character stories are just on another level compared to this. That I don't think it's a fair comparison. But again, let's see. Maybe it'll change
Akshan,
when Hank becomes a god.
I have more thoughts about Stardew Valley now that we were just talking about it.
How are you going to round up this rating?
I'm going to round this off with a try it. Shockingly, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the game for what it is, and I think the Stardew Valley comparison. I mean, yes, it probably released. I think Stardew Valley still released with quite a lot. Like when it released, it was like a worldwide sensation when it came out.
More than this, that is true. But I also think like a lot of people who would look at Bear and Breakfast today compared to Stardew Valley today, and I don't think that's a fair comparison because Stardew has like just added a lot of things.
But I do feel like Stardew just has so many variety of things to do. It has farming, it has combat, it has socializing, it has fishing, it has foraging. Whereas Bear and Breakfast really just has managing and foraging. It has those two facets that Stardew also has. Like it's not dissimilar in my mind, the way they work. It's just that Stardew has a lot more beyond that, whereas Bear and Breakfast has those two things and an art style that's distinct from Stardew.
True.
But for what it is, and it's also much short. Like I Stardew, I think I played 40 hours in a week without wanting to. This one, it took me longer to get the 20 hours, but that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it as much. I enjoyed it for what it is. I'm probably only going to play it when the new update comes out. Like play it again when the new update comes out. I don't see myself replaying it. But to play it once, I definitely recommend try it. It's fun. It's enjoyable. If you don't like management games, obviously. Yes, so that's our thoughts. That's our ratings. It's a full try it. We have the full roster today.
Yeah,
That hasn't been that way in a while.
What's the last game?
Even
Was
so let's go through it. Last episode was Happy's Humble Burger Farm, which you can check out. It's currently out right now.
I think Seshan said skip it for some reason. I
think
don't know.
Seshan said skip
yeah,
it. I think
Seshan said
you probably have to go back and watch the video to see.
Yeah, you go back to find out what Seshan didn't like about Happy's Humble Burger.
And comment on our video right here.
Yes.
And tell us why you think Seshan was wrong about Happy's Humble Burger.
Before that, I don't think actually a Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. I think everyone said try it, right?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
think everyone said try for Bomb Rush.
Yeah. Everyone said try for Bomb Rush. So that was the other one. But yeah, no, we got the full hoagie for Bear Breakfast. If you want to see what we think about a different resource management game, very different from this in the gameplay loop of it, which is Core Keeper. You can check out that episode that came out in August-ish, and Core Keeper's fully released now. August-ish. Core Keeper's fully released. We talked about it when it was in early access. So if you wanted to know what it was like in early access, check it out. So that's our thoughts. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share. If you're on Spotify, do whatever you do on Spotify.
and all your other favorite podcast
platforms.
And next month
next up is
it's going to be flooded.
And
we're going to be flooded.
To be the final episode of season 1 of the gameplay list.
Yes, if you're going to stick around for a few weeks after that, we're going to be picking the next 4 games for the next season of the Game Playlist podcast. So stick around, check it out. If you have any recommendations for games, put them in the comments below. Who knows? One of us might pick it.
Yeah.
Just don't pick a very, very long game. Thank you very much for watching. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Have a good night.